Permission not required. Negotiation is a spiritual practice. Yes, really. There is a quiet truth the rich move with that the poor rarely get taught, and that you should get taught. Everything is negotiable, not just prices, not just salaries, everything. From time, access, terms, roles, expectations, and energy. While most people are taught to stay in line and take what's given, the wealthy are busy crafting deals, reshaping reality to fit their vision. They understand that life bends to those who ask how. For those who They understand that life bends for those who know how to ask, position, and move. And the trick to money is having some. Stuart Wilde breaks it down on a level most spiritual or financial books don't dare touch. He talks about wealth not just as cash in hand, but as a frequency in which is a relationship to flow, possibility, and expansion. Rich people don't just have more, they expect more, they command more, and most importantly, they negotiate from a place of inner authority. Poor folk are they need to be trained more to deal. Most of us need to be taught this. We need to be taught how to rock the boat a little more. We need to be taught more how to be grateful. I am grateful. I'm very thankful. We need to learn how to improve our relationships and lifestyles that were meant for us. We are able to negotiate our way into better. And it starts with being more clarity and belief in yourself. And that's something we talked about in a previous video is belief in yourself. One of your favorite callbacks is from the book. One of my favorite callbacks from the book is that the author sees a TV. You know those like display TVs when you go into like a Target or like into a store or like a Best Buy. He sees one of the TVs and he asks the clerk how much. And the clerk says something like it's not for sale, or he says, because it's the display model on the TV, you can't just take it. And I remember what he said to do, or what he suggested to do, or I think he did it, is he just like took the TV off the display model. He put the cash on the counter and he just starts walking out the store with the TV. And this is something I've heard of certain groups of people, like Arabic people, do. I guess that's like a common practice when you go into other countries. It's like they kind of expect you to negotiate. So when they come to America and they see like the price on like a blender for something, when you go to Walmart, like to us, it's like we've already, like we see the price, it's set in stone. But like to them, it's like, nah, that's not the price. I want this price. And like, I've seen it happen before with certain groups of people, specifically with Arabic people. It's like they'll negotiate and they'll stand there and they won't take no for an answer. They want the price that they want. And I think that's something that's very admirable, and that's something that I've taken from this book. And one thing I've started to do is look up people's net worth of like the advice that they give me. And this guy, he talks about, I mean, I could Google his net worth really quickly. Okay, so I couldn't find an exact number of how much money he had, but I mean, okay, let's throw that out the window. I do that, but like maybe for this specific circumstance, what he was saying kind of helps me out a little bit. Specifically, just this one piece where he said everything is negotiable, and I think that's something that I started to like think about. It's like, okay, everything is kind of negotiable. They say the world is yours and you can control everything under the sun is yours and you can control it. The only thing, as far as I know, you can't control is like people, unless you like find a way to like control their time and through money and what. But like they have to voluntarily do that, and that's a whole other conversation. When you start understanding that energy, when you start to understand energy as currency, your whole life opens up. You realize your presence has value. Your ideas carry weight. Your network, your time, your identity, all of it can be leveraged with intention. Not in a fake hustle culture way, but in a calm, grounded, excuse me, I know who I am and what I bring kind of way. That's what people pay for. That's what gets doors open. And also on the note of like paying attention to what people's, network is and if I take advice from them. Since I already read the book, and I'll do this too, is like once I listen to someone talk or interview some, then it's like, okay, what they're saying is, and then I'll look up their net worth afterwards. That's probably why I haven't looked up anything on Stuart Wilde as far as his works, or I haven't read anything from him since. This is just something I'm doing for content. But I hope it brings value to you guys. You know, excuse me. Let's see, where was I? The truth is, rich people ask, they push back, they explore options. They're not. They may not always be smarter. They probably just less emotionally attached to rejection. And this is something I learned how to do that I was proud of myself today, actually. Um, Learning how to take rejection. And it's a wonderful thing. It's never personal. A lot of times it's like people are worried about their own thing and they're not focused on you. It's almost never about you, which is pretty cool, pretty awesome. They see the world as flexible, not fixed, and that mindset, more than money itself, is what separates the classes. So, if you're listening to this and ready to break out of the survival loop, here's the shift: start negotiating. With landlords, jobs, lovers, vendors, yourself, don't accept terms that shrink you. Start with something small: a price match, a deadline extension, a custom arrangement. Flex that muscle. You'll realize the world is much softer than it looks. It's just been hardened by fear. Okay, that's something that I think is true. I've always kind of pushed the limits of things, and you start to learn, like, okay, maybe there is a little something more to this world than like just what's on the surface. And that's kind of what shifting sands kind of gets into. Is like you have what's in front of you, and then you also have the world beneath that. And I think that's something that more people could stand to realize is, there's always more. Everything is really negotiable, but you only find that out when you start acting like it is. And I thank you for listening if you've gotten this far. Thank you, thank you.